guys, and there it goes. Bitcoin moves up 6% over just 12 hours, bouncing from a critical level yesterday. You saw that we were forming this descending wedge. We broke to the upside, interestingly. Remember, this is a bearish pattern, so this just goes to show the strength in this movement. What caused this move? Can it last, or is it a big trap? We're going to go through that and the key levels in today's video. Smash the likes. Don't forget to subscribe. Loads to get into today, guys. If you want to trade in these moves and profit from a move like this, shout out to those who traded this move. You have now profited from 5% on just spot. You can use the links in the description to Bybit or Binance. Of course, trading is very risky and only risk money you're willing to lose. Guys, first and foremost, from the breakout of this type of wedge, you always look to the left. What's your initial price target? You take the candle body closes and you say 27,700. Fine. Then you look at the top of the wedge and you see it's about 28,000. But this has gone beyond, and in order to see how this went beyond, you needed to be following my Twitter. Make sure you're following me at RealJaz1. As I saw this breaking out yesterday, we met our initial price target, but then I set a new trade. I posted on Twitter that this has been an impressive breakout because it's a bearish pattern, so it's a surprise breakout, but you take the trend nonetheless because you saw decent volume come in. But then you want to take your profits at the top of the wedge. This is where you can get caught out. Okay, now loads of people who just got lucky will still be making profits, but that's not the point. We don't want to get lucky. We want to be predictably profitable. Now, why would you take profits at the top here, given what we've seen? Well, I'm going to show you. When you are in this position on your 4 hourly, you are running into your EMA ribbon. Now, subsequently, we've reclaimed it, which is hugely beneficial. I'm going to come on to that. But that is why you've got to follow what I said here, which is, look, now scale out the trade and wait to see if Bitcoin can break through the 28K resistance. If it can, then you can re-enter. Okay, because you would then have a double bottom playing out, a W pattern. So if you're looking at this W move here, you came down, touched the bottom, went back up, came back down, touched the bottom, and then you went back up to the neckline. So if you want to take the measured move, you take it from the extremity. Let's take using the candle wick as well, all the way to the bottom here. You apply that to the neckline, which will be your point of breakout. And you can see here, that's all but meeting our price target at just shy of 29,000. Again, you've got to be following my Twitter for these last minute updates, and also make sure you're in the free Telegram group as well. Everything is free here. Okay, my YouTube is free, my Telegram is free, the Discord is free, and also you get access to my TA course, 10 years of experience for free, ijaz.uk/TA. So make sure nobody is charging you for any of those items. So now, what is the next level of support and resistance? We need to look into this, because now we've done something huge. We've just reclaimed our 4 hourly candles. This is massive. We were hugely below it. At this point, you're looking at how are we going to recover and get back above our EMA ribbon. We had a helping hand. What was that helping hand? Some amazing corporate earnings came out. And if you look at this, I've just plotted this side by side so you can see it. This is on the right hand side, you have the NASDAQ, okay, which is the technology side of the US traditional markets. Now on this candlestick at 9 o'clock my time, which I think was about 5 p.m. US time roughly. Either way, 9 p.m. at my time is when major tech earnings came out last night. And you could see that this led to a massive reversal here on the QQQ, which was originally trending down yesterday. Big hourly candlesticks, and then you saw a big reversal here on the QQQ, taking it as high as 1.4% up on the day. Impressive. Nice big move here. But look at the correlation here on Bitcoin. Exactly at that time again, 9 o'clock, Bitcoin decided to go on its little jog, and that jog turned into a sprint as it got excited and had a 5% move in just hours thereafter. This is because Microsoft came out and delivered some really good results, okay? So their shares went up 8%. We saw their revenue beat. We saw improvements in their gross margin, operating profit. Similarly, we saw some impressive figures from Alphabet, which is the parent company for Google. They saw really good revenue come in, and also the first time they were profitable in their cloud business. So this is now really encouraging the market, because the market and investors had sat back and said, you know what? We're expecting some really bad results for the tech sector. The expectations were really low. So for these data points to come in, nice and positive. That's why we're seeing some nice moves here in the pre-market in the US markets. NASDAQ futures are up 1.2%, S&P up slightly as well, and the Dow Jones flat. So this is good. This can set up a nice move here for the tech sector, because remember, Bitcoin is considered a risk-on asset. It's heavily correlated to the NASDAQ. Just like I shared with you here yesterday after the results came out, this pump was led by the rotation in NASDAQ. Now, if you want to delve into that a little bit more, you can also take a look at the other measurements. What is one of the biggest measurements of when risk rotates off. When risk rotates off, what do we notice? This. If you've made it this far into the video and you someday want to be able to read the markets, do technical analysis, trade as we are doing on this channel, then perhaps you may want to check out my free technical analysis from scratch course over on Skillshare. For those who aren't familiar, Skillshare is an online education platform. You sign up for a nominal amount each month and you get access to a wide variety of different courses. I personally use it to learn all sorts of things, from video editing to financial to using Excel and various other bits and pieces that you may want to learn. It's far better than YouTube on those elements, because on YouTube everything is about retention, whereas with a course you can put things in a structured curriculum, and that is exactly what I've done with my TA course. It's completely free for the first 30 days. If you click the link in the description, ijaz.uk/TA, to take advantage of the TA course. Let me know what you think about it, and let's get back into this video. The US government 10-year spikes, but we've not seen that. The US government 10-year has been falling dramatically here over the last couple of days. We've seen the dollar index also struggling. Okay, let's take a look at the dollar index. Big rejection here on the 4-hourly candles. This is really good news here, because if I show you on the daily chart, we are repelling it away from our daily EMA ribbon. It's not even getting close to trying to reclaim its daily EMA ribbon. Remember, Bitcoin is inversely correlated to the dollar index. We need the dollar index to continue to decline over the daily chart and on the weekly chart, because that's going to spell a good move for Bitcoin. Since this has rotated to the downside in October, November time of last year, we've been monitoring it throughout. You've seen that the dollar index has retraced quite powerfully. You've had a big movement here down in the dollar index. We're down 11%. But in that time, that dollar index has been down 11%, Bitcoin has moved from 15,500 up to just shy of 31,000 on Bitcoin, okay? So you're seeing that there's been a powerful move on Bitcoin, inversely correlated to the dollar index. So what next? We've got our W pattern playing out. Hopefully you guys have been taking some profits from that move. Now, what are the next key levels? Because this is a double-edged sword. I did say yesterday that if we bounce here, if we bounce on our daily EMA ribbon like we are doing here on Bitcoin, this is a double-edged sword. Why? Because there is a lot of resistance overhead. And the first level of resistance is one we've overcame already. This super painful green line that is 29,000. Look how many times we tried it over here. Finally, we got the breakthrough, run up all the way to 31, and now we find ourselves here battling it again. But what's the difference? And this is the beauty of technical analysis. What is the difference this time around? We've created what is known as a higher low. This pain here into our EMA ribbon, this pain we saw here into our EMA ribbon, gives us a flooring, it gives us some footing, it gives us some support for us to go mount another attack through 29, but also we have to go and break 31. Where we got rejected here, where my cursor is at the top of this candle, what do you notice? We formed a doji candle. You would have spotted this a mile off if you were following my TA course, ijaz.uk/TA. We go through this in detail, and doji candle is a telltale sign of indecision in the market and that the market is potentially ready to reverse. And indeed it did reverse. So if you got out there, congrats, you then reverse back down. But then what did we notice 2 days ago? I said that this doji candle could signal a reversal as well. Because why? One, the bears have had a big push down to the downside. We're trying to lose the EMA ribbon. That's what the bears were trying to do. But the bulls weren't having it. And they showed that in this doji candle. They proved that they were not willing to let the price go any lower. And subsequently, we've seen 2 powerful days here move back to the upside. But it's not over yet. What we now need to avoid is we don't want this to happen. We don't want this to curl over and run back down to 26,000. It's still possible. 26,000 is still possible. And then even lower, if you create lower highs and lower lows, you could be heading back down to 25. Because remember, weekly support doesn't come in until 25 on the EMA ribbon. Now, in order to avoid this from happening, we need that higher high. We need to break above 29, okay? We need to break above 29. Let me draw this scenario out for you. Get above it, even hold it. If we need to retest, that's fine. And then quickly get above 30, and then quickly back up above 31. We need to post that higher high, even if it's only slightly. Even if we just wick above 31 where we just got rejected here, that's absolutely fine. Just go touch a higher high, and then you can come down. And then, of course, you just got to rotate a little bit earlier, and then go rotate a bit past it. You see, higher highs, higher lows. If this is all gibberish, it's because you haven't spent a couple of hours working through the TA course. Ijaz.uk/TA. Yes, that rhymes. Okay, cool. So that's really important here on the Bitcoin price. Now, what else do we need to take a look at? Because there's a few other patterns on our radar, right? That's not the only pattern. So we monitored the W pattern. But also, what did I share with you a couple of days ago? I said that the Fibonacci golden pocket sits at exactly the level we were sat at. And look at that, we bounced perfectly off this Fibonacci ratio. But what happens next? We've got to hold support at the next level. So we're just crossing that now at 28,800. Use it, hold it as support, and then go back above 31. It's telling you the exact same story that I just shared with you on the other chart. Okay, but this time using Fibonacci ratios. Now, when two different indicators, when two different technical analysis strategies are both telling you the same story, it increases the probability that it's right. Nobody knows for certain what's going to happen, but you've got to take a couple of different indicators, your favorite ones, the ones you rely on the most, and make sure they marry up to give you confidence in a certain move. Then you're going to feel comfortable trading it. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at here in terms of the Fibonacci ratios. Let's also take a look at this ascending broadening wedge, which we were looking at, right? What has happened? Well, exactly as we expected. It came from the bottom, from the top, all the way down to the bottom, formed a double bottom, and now it's sitting in the middle. But there's a lot of work for it to do, right? We're now in neutral territory. This was horrible territory, really likely to break to the downside. Bitcoin, with the help of Microsoft and Google earnings, has managed to come off the bottom. Brilliant. But now it needs to prove itself. It needs to work its way to the top of the channel. It's no good it just sitting here in no man's land. That's not going to do any well, because all that's going to let the bears do is regroup, take a deep breath, because they've done some good work here. They've done some impressive work. They're going to be exhausted. They're going to regroup, and then when they're ready, boom, they're going to throw us down to 25. So be very, very careful. Also, what else comes into play? There's the other risk that people become greedy again. Yes, fit and greed index will start to notch back up again. And what happens when that notches back up again? People will start to take out overzealous long positions. We've seen it time and time again. When markets get frothy, people start taking out over leveraged longs. What led to the collapse last week? 3 horrible days of longs getting liquidated, over $500 million worth of positions, eagerly trying to trace the next move on Bitcoin, getting liquidated. So be very, very careful. Bitcoin is hugely stop-start, but that is what we need to see right now. We need to see that come up. We need to get above that 31,000 level. But first and foremost, break through 29, hold above that 29,000 level, and then work your way beyond. And finally, just to round things off, what do we see here on the weekly chart? Well, on the weekly chart, after last week's horrible bearish engulfing candle, we're starting to see a little bit of a response early this week in Bitcoin. But I don't want us to get carried away. This is meaningless until we get above 31, until this is a nice, powerful candle here above the red candle. This could still spell that the bears are calling off and they still want to move us down towards 25. So what I'm looking at right now, I'm not rolling out 25 until we get that higher high above 31. If we get that higher high, that's going to look absolutely insane, hugely bullish, because that would mean that the bears' efforts to push us down here didn't even result in a touch of our weekly EMA ribbon at that 25,000 level. So that would be a hugely bullish situation. That being said, until we get that 31, I'm still looking out. Could this curl over? Could this show some weakness? And could we be creating a lower high, forcing us to downtrend slowly towards that 25,000 level mark? Let me know, guys, what are you doing in this market? Are you trading? Are you looking to add to your DCA positions? Comment below how you're playing this market. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to go watch this video here, and I'll see you in the next one.